The sale of the San Diego Padres shattered MLB records. This seems to be now a growing trend in sports valuations, helping us now to break it all down. Chase Wilsey, Vice President, Wilsey Asset Management. Chase, good morning. Thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
When I heard the Padres were going to sell for $3.4 to $3.5 billion, and then it ended up being closer to 3.9. I mean, thank goodness they released those City Connect and made the $1 million in all those new unis, because then look, no.
Oh, they need
that helps.
Yeah, I mean, they need it.
Talk to me where we are now in professional sports, because it is incredible.
You know, I think this is just, it seems to be a growing trend, right?
Yes.
I mean, I think there was just so much money, again, created in the kind of post-COVID era. I mean, you've just seen real estate valuations, you've seen stock valuations. Right. All of these valuations have really gotten stretched, in my opinion. And I think that the sports leagues is just really another example of kind of how crazy things have gotten when you look at valuations as a whole.
Why? How?
Why and how? Well, how is because people are willing to pay for it.
That's the thing. It's incredible to me. The prices to go to a Major League Baseball game in San Diego, wherever, plus the food is astronomical at this point.
And I think the why is, I mean, these are assets that are pretty scarce, right? I mean, when you look at buying real estate, I mean, there are a lot of homes cross country. There's a lot of different companies, stocks cross country. There's not many major league sports teams that you can buy into. So, you know, I think there is, I hate to say it, but some element of ego here when it comes to the sports league.
You hate to say it when it's all owned by billionaires. That's the bottom. Those are egos.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I think there is an ego premium, I'll call it, where they'll keep bidding these up.
Look at
like,
my shiny new toy, huh?
Exactly.
Yes.
So I think that's a big reason for it. I mean, there are sports teams, obviously, that are quite profitable. Others are not, though. I mean, the MLB is a tough league because there's no salary cap. So, I mean, some of these guys that come in, they're willing to essentially make no money to try and get a championship.
Wow. I would like to know the average worth of an NFL team, an NBA team compared to MLB. Are they kind of the same? Is one league more than the other?
So MLB, that's the cheap league, and I think
that's the cheap league. Oh my God!
I think that's a large reason is the salary cap, the non-existence of it. It makes it less, I think, attractive.
Yes.
But the NFL, the average team now is about $7.65 billion. Yeah, the Raiders, they just sold a partial stake for about a valuation at around $11 billion. If you look at the NBA, that's now about $5.5 billion. Now, if you could pull together about $369 million 15 years ago, you could have had yourself an NBA team. Again, now worth about $5.5 billion. So, I mean, we've seen some huge valuation increases.
In your world, have you ever seen any industry that has gone in like a decade and has exploded in value that much?
I mean, there's definitely industries that have. I mean, you look at AI right now. I mean, the AI hype has really pushed some stocks up to pretty astronomical levels. Obviously, the .com era. Now, is sports in a bubble in terms of the valuations that we're seeing? It's quite possible. The difficulty is the information as public as common stock. So you can't go and see, well, what are the sales, what are the earnings, what do the financials look like? It's hard to truly see if there is a bubble there.
When something like this happens, it ultimately will trickle down to the fan. How does this impact the regular run-of-the-mill, just the regular sports fan who wants to go see a game? And it's obviously going to impact ticket prices.
Yeah, I think there's two ways, obviously, it's impacted. Obviously, to kind of justify these valuations, a lot of these owners need to make money from the deal. So as you said, ticket prices, they could be increasing to offset that cost. The other area is media rights. I mean, we've seen huge contracts.
Tons of money there.
Tons of money. 2021, the NFL had an 11-year deal, I think, at $111 billion. So, I mean, the nice thing is if they can get more money maybe from the media rights, maybe they don't have to increase ticket prices as much.
The interesting thing to me with the sports fan aspect of it, there's a community element and an emotional attachment element to sports. And these new potential owners of the Padres said, community, it's a big deal. They know that in sports, that's a huge part of it. But some fans are a little frustrated that the more billionaires buying up their sports team, the more they have to pay. You know, $300-400 for a new jersey.
Oh, yeah.
$85 for a hat.
Yeah.
Where does it end?
You know, I mean, that's where it kind of gets interesting. There are, you know, owners around the league. You know, I think the Atlanta Falcons owner, he's been pretty steadfast about keeping that community element. I know he keeps things pretty reasonably priced within the stadium. So I think there is some element of ownership where it's not as much about making money, which sounds kind of crazy. Again, going back to my ego premium, it's like, no, we want that community element because it is going to increase the valuation if you get more fans involved. So there is that push and take between, okay, how much do we increase prices before how much do we kind of like keep the community involved?
And back in the day, if you couldn't afford to go, I'll just watch it on TV for free.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
$20 a month now?
That's also gone.
Yeah.
That's also gone because even if you have cable and whatever streaming service you have, you're not going to get Padres, you're not going to get Lakers unless you pony up that extra money.
Yeah, I mean, it is true, and I think they're making more options.
Can you tell I'm a little frustrated? I'm one of these fans. You know what I mean?
They're giving you more options, but it's becoming more difficult, more complicated to find the sports that you want, and I think it has gotten, frankly, more expensive for the everyday sports fan to watch sports.
Could this have an impact on the growth? You've seen some smaller leagues growing because people get to enjoy the sport without the exorbitant pricing.
I mean, that's kind of what's been more interesting to me, and I think there's more risk in those smaller leagues because people are like, well, I can't afford an NFL franchise, so maybe I'll trickle down to pickleball, maybe I'll trickle down to cricket. And you've seen the valuations on some of these leagues skyrocket. The one that, as well as, I mean, this blew me away, women's soccer. There was just an expansion team for about $205 million. In 2022, you get an expansion team for $2 million. It is insane. And the hard part
is happening?
It's viewership, right? I mean, the issue that is going to come to fruition is, you know, right now there's about 1.2 million people that watch the finals for women's soccer. Can they grow into a larger audience? If not, that valuation doesn't make any sense.
You think the niche market's made because of streaming, and you can actually go and target your specific audience, your cricket audience, your women's soccer audience, and then they target that audience, and you watch that app, and you make that money there?
I think so, but it's got to happen. Otherwise, these valuations that are coming from the smaller leagues, you're going to lose a lot of money if you're investing in those.
I love this topic. I could talk about this for a while. Chase Wilsey, we think, as always.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.